This page features the iconic cover story for GoldenEye 007 on Nintendo 64, showcasing Pierce Brosnan as James Bond ready for action against the backdrop of the game's opening level. The magazine promises a top-secret 16-page mission briefing for this groundbreaking first-person shooter. Also highlighted are a strategy special for the legendary Star Fox 64, challenging players to test your mettle, and a preview of the unique platformer Mischief Makers. Game Boy players weren't left out, with mentions of Ken Griffey Jr. Presents MLB and Tetris Plus. Plus, there are huge 64 reviews covering games like Robotron 64 and Tetrisphere. It's a packed issue covering some of the best titles of the era. This page presents the compelling cover art and contents for Volume 99, August 1997. The left side is dominated by the GoldenEye 007 cover story, featuring Pierce Brosnan as James Bond alongside Famke Janssen, and iconic game imagery. The text highlights the mission to stop Janice, and promises maps and tips for all difficulty levels. Screenshots from the game are shown at the bottom. The right side is the table of contents, confirming major strategies covered for GoldenEye 007, Multi-Racing Championship, Star Fox 64, Tetrisphere, Robotron 64, Brunswick WTOC, Ken Griffey Jr. Presents, MLB, and Tetris Plus. Special features include a preview of Mischief Makers and a Blast Core comic. This issue is packed with essential guides for the era's biggest titles. This page features the Player's Pulse section, where readers share their letters and artwork, primarily offering exciting ideas for the upcoming 100th issue of Nintendo Power. Gamers suggest fun concepts like scratch and sniff pages, 3D glasses, and character air fresheners, alongside more traditional ideas like featuring classic NES games, in-depth tips for N64 titles such as Super Mario 64 and Star Fox 64, high-score lists for games like Tetris, and discussions about game endings. The page is vibrant, with reader-submitted artwork showcasing characters from Mario Kart, Mega Man X's Zero, Star Fox, Donkey Kong Country 3, and Turok Hunter. Its clear anticipation for the milestone 100th issue was high among the Nintendo community. The next page dives into the latest power charts, revealing the top games as voted by readers. On the Nintendo 64, Mario Kart 64 speeds into the top spot, followed closely by Super Mario 64 and Turok, Dinosaur Hunter, with screenshots highlighting these popular titles. The Super NES chart sees The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past holding strong at number 1, ahead of Super Mario RPG and Donkey Kong Country 3. For Game Boy, The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening leads the charge, followed by Donkey Kong Land 2. The page also includes letters from readers, continuing discussions on topics like game endings from the previous issue. An article highlights a cross-country promotional tour for Star Fox 64, showcasing various upcoming games to fans nationwide. Finally, the Most Wanted list gives a glimpse into the highly anticipated titles readers are eagerly awaiting, including Zelda 64 and Star Fox 64. This page dives deep into GoldenEye 007 for the Nintendo 64, presenting it as a Rumble Pack-enhanced 3D action thriller based on the movie. The article highlights how the game aims to redefine expectations for first-person perspective titles, blending intense action with sequences requiring brains and stealth, mirroring the film's high-tech intrigue. Cinematic moments are noted for providing vital mission clues. Screenshots showcase gameplay, including combat and stealth elements, alongside character images of Bond, Natalia, and adversaries like Arfumov. The plot context involving the GoldenEye satellite weapon and the threat from the former Soviet Union is also summarized. The next page delves into the operational aspects of GoldenEye 007, detailing the vast array of tools and weapons at Bond's disposal, including gadgets, handguns, automatic weapons, explosives, and unique special items from Q. It outlines the game's 3 difficulty levels: Agent, Secret Agent, and the demanding OO Agent, explaining how higher difficulties exponentially increase mission objectives and complexity. The page also highlights the exciting multiplayer mayhem, supporting up to 4 players across various scenarios like Shootout and Golden Gun, with unlockable characters and arenas earned through single-player progression. Crucially, the in-game briefing system featuring M, Q, and Moneypenny provides essential mission objectives and intelligence. This page dives into the specifics of the first 3 missions in GoldenEye 007. Arkhangelsk, Dam, Facility, and Runway. For the Dam mission, you infiltrate the dam through a vent, receiving a modem from Q to attach to a satellite dish for data interception. And objectives involve neutralizing alarms, installing the modem, getting data backup, and ultimately performing a dramatic bungee jump. The facility mission focuses on a chemical weapons factory, tasking you with contacting a double agent, Drive, Doak, in the labs to get a door decoder, linking up with 006, Alec Trevelyan, and using remote mines from Q to destroy bottling room tanks. Finally, the runway mission is about escaping by plane, starting with a tank provided by Q to deal with heavy resistance. Your objectives here are to eliminate missile batteries, destroy heavy guns around the runway, find the plane's ignition key, and make your escape in the aircraft. Each mission outlines key objectives and shows relevant maps and screenshots of the action. This page continues the deep dive into GoldenEye 007 missions, starting with Mission 2, Severnaya Surface. Here, Bond investigates a potential space weapons control center on the Siberian plateau. Objectives involve powering down the communications dish, securing a safe key from a Siberian Special Forces officer, and stealing building plans from huts protected by a fence. Next up is Mission 3, Kyrgyzstan Launch Silo. Concerned about test firings, Bond must copy missile data and destroy the silo. Key tasks include planting plastic explosives in the fuel rooms, photographing a GoldenEye satellite, obtaining telemetric data from a scientist, retrieving satellite circuitry, copying the GoldenEye key, downloading data from a computer, and getting personnel to activate the main computer. Finally, the page covers the second part of Mission 2, Severnaya, focusing on the bunker. While still under construction, the tracking computers are live. Your main objective is to disrupt all security devices, including cameras and sentries, before they trigger the alarm. This page continues the mission briefings for GoldenEye 007, starting with Mission 4, Monte Carlo Frigate. Your objectives are clear: rescue the remaining hostages, disarm the explosives placed on the bridge and in the engine room, and plant a tracking device on the stealth helicopter. Maps and screenshots guide you through the ship's layout and highlight key areas. Then, we move to Mission 5, Severnaya, detailing both the bunker and surface levels. In the bunker, you need to recover the CCTV tape and the GoldenEye operations manual, disable security cameras and communications, compare staff lists, and escape with Natalia. The surface section focuses on disrupting surveillance equipment, destroying the Spetsnaz support aircraft, and finding entry into the bunker. The page provides maps and visual aids for navigating these complex environments and completing your assignments. The next page dives into further GoldenEye 007 missions, starting with Mission 6, St. Petersburg Statue Park. Bond is tasked with meeting Valentin Zukovsky to get leads on Janice after the stealth helicopter incident. Objectives include contacting Valentins, confronting and unmasking Janice near the Lenin statue, locating the stealth helicopter Janice used, rescuing Natalia, who is lying unconscious nearby, and finally finding the helicopter's flight recorder amidst the debris from its explosion. Maps guide you through the statue-filled park, and screenshots show key moments like meeting Janice and the helicopter wreckage. The page then moves to Mission 7, Military Archives. Captured by Mishkin, Bond and Natalia are interrogated. Your objectives here are to escape from the interrogation room, find Natalia, who is held separately, escape with her after meeting Mishkin, and recover the helicopter's black box from the basement. Maps show the layouts of the basement, main floor, and attic of the archives building. Screenshots depict the interrogation, finding Natalia, and the escape route. This section highlights escaping confinement and navigating a building under tight security. This page continues the GoldenEye 007 guide with two more St. Petersburg missions. First, Mission 6. Streets puts you in a tank chasing Arumov and Natalia. You'll navigate treacherous streets filled with mines and civilians, needing to minimize casualties while completing the pursuit. You also have the opportunity to contact Valentin for intel during this chaotic chase. Next up is Mission 7, Depot. The chase leads to Janice's headquarters. Here, the objectives involve destroying an illegal arms cache and Janice's computer network, finding a safe key to recover helicopter blueprints from a safe, and finally locating Trevelyan's waiting train. Q provides details on the importance of destroying Janice's computer systems. The layout of the depot building is detailed, guiding you through each step. This page delves deeper into GoldenEye 07's thrilling campaign, starting with Mission 6, Train in St. Petersburg. You must work your way through the train, disable the brake units, and rescue Natalia from Arjumov. The Q branch update provides a compact laser on your watch, essential for escaping the train by blasting through welded plates. You also need to help Natalia locate the Janus base and crack Boris's password while defending her. The guide then moves to Mission 7 in Cuba. First, navigate the treacherous jungle full of traps. Next, protect Natalia in the control center as she attempts to reprogram the GoldenEye satellite. The mission continues in the water caverns, where you demolish water pumps to reveal the hidden satellite antenna. The climax arrives at the antenna cradle, where you face Trevelyan himself in a final confrontation to prevent him from attacking London. The next issue promises a guide to the best ambush locations in multiplayer. This page introduces Mischief Makers, a unique side-scrolling action game on the N64 from Enix and Treasure. Unlike many 64 titles, it uses pre-rendered sprites and features a female hero, Marina. The article details the game's plot, where Marina must rescue her creator, Professor Theo, from the evil empire on the planet Clancer. She navigates a world divided by warring Clancer factions, encountering various bosses and allies. The graphics combine detailed rendered backgrounds with sprites and occasional 3D polygons for depth. Finding all the hidden gold gems throughout the quest promises a special ending. This page gives us a closer look at Mischief Makers. We're introduced to the cast, including the rocket-powered heroine Marina Lityears, her kidnapped creator Professor the Mario, allies like Tisran and King Aster, and adversaries such as Lunar and potentially the Monolith. The planet Clancer is detailed, describing its distinct themed zones and the environmental hazards Marina must overcome across its many levels. Gameplay focuses on Marina's unique ability to grab, shake, and throw enemies and objects, adding a distinct mechanic. The article highlights the game's visual style, which cleverly integrates 3D polygon elements into the 2D side-scrolling action to create depth and challenge. Described as a quirky and humorous evolution of the genre, Mischief Makers is set to arrive in October. This page dives into MRC, Multi-Racing Championship for the Nintendo 64. Ocean rolls out this multi-everything racer featuring diverse courses, detours, weather, and driving conditions, plus customizable cars. You start with 8 vehicles, with 2 fast bonus cars unlockable by winning match races. Cars vary in drive types and suitability for street or off-road challenges. You can customize vehicle attributes like tires, suspension, and gear to improve performance. The game features 3 main courses, with elaborate branching paths and variable weather, allowing for tactical route decisions. The article highlights the Rumble Pack support for immersive feedback, 2-player head-to-head racing, time trial, and the ability to customize tracks by closing roads. Screenshots show various vehicles, in-game racing, customization menus, weather information, and race results. MRC promises significant replayability through its deep customization and varied course layouts. This page delves further into MRC, Multi-Racing Championship, detailing its multifaceted challenge. It covers the game's realistic physics, where different surfaces impact handling and require strategic driving. The diverse courses feature branching paths, allowing players to choose between on-road and off-road routes, and even customize layouts by closing sections in time trial. A deep machine setting option lets you fine-tune vehicles, from tires to aerodynamics, dramatically affecting performance and encouraging experimentation, like creating a wild ride with the Ocean Pickup. The seaside track is highlighted with specific tips for both its on-road and off-road paths, emphasizing how its design is perfect for practicing cornering and handling skids. Screenshots showcase the intense racing action, the customizable vehicle settings, and helpful track maps with key points marked. This page continues the coverage of Multi-Racing Championship, focusing on the mountain track and its various routes. It details the different weather and road conditions players will face, from sunny skies turning rainy to wintry conditions with slick, snow-covered shoulders. The article breaks down each route, providing specific tips for navigating challenging turns and terrain. Route 1 involves cutting a corner at point A. Route 2 warns about icy conditions and suggests plowing through cones. Route 3 highlights Point D's gentle curves and encourages enjoying the scenery. And Route 4 describes navigating willy-nilly turns and mentions tricky points like Tunnel John and Point H. Screenshots illustrate the specific points and conditions discussed for each route, complementing the detailed track map shown in the center. This page continues the coverage of Multi-Racing Championship, now focusing on the downtown track. It details the various conditions across its 4 routes, from hazy skies to fog and rain, even mentioning a slick off-road shortcut. The guide provides strategies for both on-road and off-road routes. The on-road section offers advice on navigating hairpin turns, cutting corners, and handling tight spots like point F scurve and the point H hairpin. It even notes a secret shortcut at point G. The off-road section highlights the challenge of skidding, steering through rapid turn sequences, and navigating tunnels. It points out the easiest off-road route, Route 3, and describes the secret shortcut at point G, which involves driving through a waterfall. Screenshots are included throughout, showing specific points on the tracks and illustrating the conditions described, alongside detailed maps of the on-road and off-road layouts. The content offers comprehensive strategic tips for mastering downtown's complex routes. This page is dedicated to unlocking secrets and providing cheats for several classic games. It features special codes and tips for Turok, Dinosaur Hunter, covering modes like invincibility, unlimited weapons, and enemy display. Players of War Gods can find instructions to unlock hidden characters like Grox and Exor. For Cruisin' USA, there are methods to change your vehicle to quirky options like a school bus or police car, and unlock exclusive race courses. The page also includes a fun tip for Doom, revealing hidden messages that appear after losing a life. Screenshots across the page illustrate cheat menus, character selections, and in-game effects, offering players ways to experience these games with new twists and advantages. This page continues the focus on game secrets and cheats, offering a collection of tricks for various titles. For Dark Rift, you can unlock the character Sonork with a specific code on the title screen. Tasmania fans can access a stage select and get 20 continues using button combinations. Mega Man X players are shown a multi-step process to gain the powerful Fireball ability, though it requires collecting specific items and cannot be saved via password. Star Wars Shadows of the Empire offers a password for supercharged weapons, a trick to get super weapons using the name Jabba, a code to see credits and photos, and a silly Wampa Rumpus sound effect code. Classic Super NES games are also covered, with the Lion King revealing codes for secret options like invulnerability and stage select. While Aladdin players can use a stage select cheat and even skip right to the end of the game, these tips provide fun new ways to experience these diverse titles. This page dives deep into Star Fox 64, specifically focusing on mastering the game to go for the gold. It provides tactical data, emphasizing the importance of using the lock-on feature, smart bombs, and knowing when to use charged or rapid-fire shots to clear groups of enemies efficiently. The Corneria level is broken down with strategies for scoring maximum hits and finding alternative paths to reach new areas, like the attack carrier. There's also a section on achieving gold medals, which requires hitting point targets and keeping your wingmen alive, unlocking the extra mode, versus mode, and expert missions. A bonus chart shows how quickly defeating bosses earns you extra points. It's a comprehensive guide for players looking to maximize their score and explore everything Star Fox 64 has to offer. The next page provides in-depth strategy for 2 challenging levels in Star Fox 64. For the Meteo asteroid field, the goal is 200 hits, recommending bombs for large asteroids and specific enemy waves. Crucially, it reveals a warp zone to Katina as a significantly easier way to reach the hit target, by facing a zone full of enemies instead of the boss. Moving on to Sector X, the target is 150 hits. Tips include conserving bombs, quickly dealing with initial enemy waves, assisting Peppy, and noting the path split where one route offers a laser upgrade and more enemies. It details detonating mines for chain reactions and navigating a tunnel with lock-on targets. Finally, it covers the Spyborg boss fight, advising players to target its glowing eyes first before its head becomes vulnerable. This page continues the Star Fox 64 strategy guide, covering Titania and Sector Quai, both with a target score of 150 hits. For Titania, which is played in the Landmaster tank, the guide details navigating tunnels, using smart bombs, dealing with ray-shielded fortresses, and hitting the checkpoint score. It also provides tactics for fighting rock-tossing robots and enemy fighters, before concluding with the Gora's boss fight strategy, emphasizing targeting its arms and chest weakness. Sector strategy highlights include dealing with carrier ships, navigating launch bays and derelict ships, assisting Slippy, and managing multiple enemy waves, including a path split that offers more enemies. The page ends with the Shogun boss strategy, advising players to target the warlords first and lead their shots against the main Shogun. This page continues the Star Fox 64 strategy guide, detailing the Solar and Macbeth stages. For the Fiery Solar level, The aim is 100 hits, with at least 50 by the checkpoint. It highlights dealing with swarms of firebirds and rocks, suggesting manual bomb detonation for maximum effect. The path leads to the Volcane boss, advising players to target its arms first before its head, while avoiding its plasma attacks. The Macbeth section sets a goal of 150 hits, with 95 required at the checkpoint. It covers destroying train cars and enemy fighters, utilizing bombs, and navigating the passage. It presents a valuable tactic to avoid the Macbeth boss entirely, by hitting specific switches to derail the train, though it also provides strategy for fighting the boss by targeting weak spots and using hover and roll maneuvers. This page continues the Star Fox 64 strategy guide, covering the underwater aqua stage. The goal is 150 hits, emphasizing constant firing and barrel rolling to neutralize threats. Tips include targeting clams for upgrades, dealing with mutated fish, wiping out shrimp mutants, and navigating the canyon pillars by targeting specific cracked ones. The guide then moves to Bakun, detailing how to defeat this boss by destroying barnacles, hitting the mussels holding its shell, and finally targeting its central eye. The page also features Tetrasphere, describing its origin as a 3D evolution of Tetris, with 6 play modes and rotation in all 3 dimensions, highlighting its creator Alexei Pajitnov's approval. This page dives deep into mastering Tetrasphere, detailing the various modes available to players. Basic training covers fundamental skills, like block placement, combos, sliding, and magic items. Advanced placement introduces more complex techniques, such as X-count multipliers, gravity combos, and tackling the tricky crystal blocks. The puzzle mode challenges players, with intricate scenarios, requiring strategic use of slides and drops. Perfect Practice offers a sandbox to hone skills by customizing layers, core pieces, and block shapes. The core gameplay, explained in Get in Shape and Peeling to the Core, revolves around matching identical shapes on a sphere to strip away layers and uncover a hidden image or character at the center. It's a comprehensive guide to understanding this unique 3D puzzle game. This page details the various game modes available in Tetrasphere, building on the basic mechanics introduced previously. It covers modes like Rescue, where you bore a hole to free a character, and Hide and Seek, which offers several variations on that theme with multiple hidden characters. You also learn about Multi, focusing on uncovering a character's image, and Drill, which guides you to the core using special bits. Other modes include Brick, Tower, Unique, Shift, requiring you to slide picture pieces together, Connect, revealing linked images, and Crystal Tower, where misplaced drops shatter the core. The article highlights the strategic depth and variety each mode adds to the core Tetrasphere gameplay. Screenshots illustrate the sphere in action for many of these variations, showing the diverse challenges. This page delves into additional game modes in Tetrasphere. Puzzle mode challenges you to solve 100 layered puzzles by strategically moving and dropping pieces. Time trial is a race against the clock to uncover the core within 5 minutes, rewarding efficient digging and combos. The versus CPU mode pits you against computer opponents with varying difficulty levels, where scoring combos is crucial to handicap them and reach the core. Budding Brains, the core versus mode, lets you compete against friends, aiming to uncover a predetermined number of core pieces and sending disruptive black blocks with combos. Finally, Tetrasphere Tourney supports up to 8 players in a bracket format, featuring selectable robotic characters with unique attributes and the familiar versus goal of uncovering the core. In Versus and Tourney, both players receive the same drop pieces, ensuring fair play. This page presents a comic strip adaptation of the action game Blast Corps, titled Episode 3, Big Bang Theory. It features the elite demolition team in action, facing the critical mission to stop a runaway nuclear missile carrier. The story so far text recap explains the premise, where the team uses unique vehicles and technology, like the Cyclone Suit and J-Bomb, to clear the path of destruction. The comic panels show the characters, including Spike in a vehicle and the J-Bomb suit in flight, communicating as they navigate the dangerous scenario and prepare to detonate the nukes in the abandoned town of Tumble Gulch, while also discovering a lone resident in the way. This page continues the Blast Corps comic, Episode 3, Big Bang Theory. The team assesses the critical situation, noting that the nuclear canisters are corroded. Action ramps up as the missile carrier crashes with a loud "Skreek!" and "Whoa!" They realize the carrier's autopilot is malfunctioning, going on the fritz, and attribute the chows to Murphy's Law. The focus shifts back to the lone old man discovered in the town, emphasizing the danger and the need to save him. This page continues the Blast Core comic, Big Bang Theory. The Cyclone successfully secures the nuclear canisters, reporting mission accomplished to the base. However, Spike discovers an old man, Monty, who has lived in the ghost town his whole life, and seems oblivious to the danger posed by the runaway missile carrier. Spike realizes they need to escape the rapidly approaching carrier, and introduces Monty to the ballista, a fast vehicle he calls their one-way ticket out of this place. The base operator urges them to hurry, as the carrier bears down on their position. This page concludes the Blast Core comic story. Spike and Monty make a dramatic escape in the ballista, just as the runaway carrier explodes behind them. A truly impressive feat of maneuvering. They manage to get clear, with Spike reporting in to base operator Amber, who is relieved they are safe. The rest of the team confirms the dangerous nuclear canisters have been secured. Meanwhile, back at Rafter's military facility, officers discuss the successful mission, noting that Professor Nash was involved, but decide against immediate action, ending the saga for now. Credits for the creative team are also listed on the page. This page dives into Robotron 64, the Nintendo 64 update of the classic arcade shooter, Robotron 2084. The article emphasizes the game's chaotic 3D action, swarming enemies, and psychedelic visuals, declaring it far more frantic than the original. It showcases the variety of camera views available, offering different perspectives on the intense battles, and details the unique control scheme that allows players to use two controllers for authentic dual-stick gameplay. Power-ups like the flamethrower and shields are also mentioned as essential tools for surviving the relentless Robotron assault. This page provides essential survival tactics for Robotron 64. It advises players to constantly move and fire in all 8 directions, emphasizing that rescuing humans is a top priority. A key strategy involves heading immediately to the arena's edge to reduce attack angles and use the perimeter for defense against the swarming robots. Another effective method is luring enemies to group them together, making them vulnerable to concentrated fire or area effect weapons like the gas gun. The page also details how to handle the dangerous quarks and spheroids, which spawn additional robots, and highlights the tactical uses of electrodes as both obstacles and tools for managing robot hordes. Ultimately, saving every human, even if it means leaving a final robot alive until they are safe, is crucial for progression and points. The next page presents a detailed roster of the robotic enemies you'll face in Robotron 64, building on the survival strategies previously discussed. It introduces the Grunt, the basic ground enemy, and the dangerous jetpack Grunt that drops from the sky. You'll also learn about the Brains and Mega Brains, which can turn humans into zombies, and the Spheroids and Quarks, known for spawning more robots. Finally, the formidable Indestructibles, Hulks, are highlighted. The page includes screenshots showcasing these enemies in action. There is also a section detailing the game's history, mentioning the Super NES versions of Robotron 2084 and how the N64 title revamps the classic formula with 3D graphics and perspective options while retaining the core gameplay. The page concludes with impressive high scores and levels reached by the game's testers. This page covers Brunswick World Tournament of Champions for the Super NES, presented as a highly realistic bowling simulation. It highlights the game's attention to detail, from ball type and curve to lane oil, promising an experience that rivals the actual sport. The Options Galore section details the extensive customization, including 16 different bowling balls, varied lane conditions across tournaments, and options for league play. You can even customize your bowler's clothing. The Pro Players section introduces several top professional bowlers, allowing players to compete against, or even embody, these real-world champions. Screenshots display gameplay views, menu options for setup and customization, and details on ball types. The overall impression is a deep and engaging bowling game, with plenty of features and realism. This page dives deeper into the strategic elements of Brunswick World Tournament of Champions, starting with Learn Your Lanes. It details 7 distinct oil patterns that significantly impact ball behavior, from heavily oiled centers causing hooks to narrow, oily areas forcing early breaks. Mastering these patterns is crucial for success on the tour. The Tournament Time section introduces the major competitions like the prestigious Brunswick World TOC, the easier Johnny Petraglia Open, the Las Vegas Invitational, the challenging Bayer Brunswick TPC, the slightly tougher Quantum Open, and the themed Combat Zone Classic. Each tournament presents a different oil pattern and difficulty level, requiring varied strategies. Finally, Join a League offers alternative play modes, the Singles League for individual competition against human or computer opponents, and the Teams League where 4-player teams face off, allowing you to pair up with PBA pros or friends. Screenshots show the oil pattern diagrams, tournament logos, and league setup/results screens. This page covers Ken Griffey Jr. Presents Major League Baseball for the Game Boy. It details the game's features, including all 28 pro teams and actual players, bringing the big league excitement to the portable system. The review highlights the game is based on the hit Super NES version, retaining features like auto-fielding and detailed stats, while adding improvements such as trading players and managing full rosters in season mode. The page then breaks down the different play modes available: Home Run Derby for slugging duels, Exhibition for custom matchups, the classic All-Star Game pitting the leagues against each other, Season Mode offering a full managerial experience, and Double Play for 2-player action via GameLink cable. Screenshots show the team selection screen, in-game action, and mode selection menus. This page continues the coverage of Ken Griffey Jr. Presents Major League Baseball, diving into gameplay strategies and team analysis. It opens with general tips for playing, highlighting the inclusion of all 28 Major League teams and their real rosters. The guide offers advice on hitting and running, explaining how to lead off and attempt steals, illustrated with a screenshot of a runner leading off first base. Pitching strategy is also covered, comparing power versus control, and showing the bullpen management screen and a pitcher on the mound. The defensive section recommends using the auto-fielding feature initially to learn positioning, along with a screenshot of the game options menu. A detailed scouting report provides insights into several teams, listing their top 3 batters and pitchers, with brief descriptions of each team's strengths. Teams featured include the Dodgers, Giants, Angels, Mariners, Padres, Rockies, Athletics, and Rangers. Finally, a chart key defines the abbreviations used for player positions throughout the scouting report. The next page continues the in-depth look at Ken Griffey Jr. Presents Major League Baseball, shifting the focus to more teams across the leagues. This section provides scouting reports for numerous clubs, offering tactical insights for players using these teams. Each entry highlights the team's overall strengths, such as offensive power, speed, or pitching depth, and sometimes points out key players or strategic moves to consider. For instance, it mentions the Braves' speed and base-stealing ability, or the Yankees' potent lineup. The reports list the top batters and pitchers for each team, detailing their ratings and positions, allowing players to understand their key assets. This comprehensive analysis helps players choose teams that suit their style or understand the opposition. This page is all about the visceral 3D fighter, Mace, the Dark Age. On the left, they're pushing the ultimate prize, the actual arcade cabinet itself. It's the genuine article, challenging you to take the arcade hit home and reminding you just how big it is. The right side lays out the contest details, linked to the NP Players poll. The grand prize winner scores that massive Mace, the Dark Age arcade machine, and Mace 64 for Nintendo 64. 10 second-place winners get a sweet $100 in quarters to hone their skills at the arcade, plus Mace 64. And 50 third-place winners snag Nintendo Power t-shirts. It's a cool way to get your hands on Midway's intense fighting game, whether at the arcade or on your 64. This page is a counselor's corner, offering expert tips for tricky parts in popular games. Star Wars Shadows of the Empire on the Nintendo 64 gets help navigating Hoth's collapsing hallway, advising players to rush and use seeker missiles on stormtroopers. It also details how to cross the chasm in Gaul Spaceport using the jetpack efficiently, cautioning against wasting fuel and firing seekers at gun turrets. On the Super NES side, Mike Carver tackles Donkey Kong Country 3, Dixie Kong's Double Trouble. He explains how to enter the elusive Lost World, locate a hidden warp barrel in Riverside Race using Kitty and Dixie's toss, and provides strategy for the challenging barrel drop bounce sequence. The advice is practical and directly addresses player difficulties with specific level segments. This page continues the expert advice from the Counselor's Corner, offering solutions for challenging spots in several titles. For Blast Corps on Nintendo 64, you get tips on reaching the secret tunnels in the Havoc District, finding the communications tower on Ebony Coast using the J-Bomb and train, and locating the powerful Cyclone suit in Ember Hamlet by blasting the right barn. The Game Boy section helps with Looney Tunes boss battles, detailing how to defeat the Witch and Star by shooting stars and dodging attacks, and outlining the strategy to beat Elmer Fudd with well-timed stomps and disc attacks. There's also a quick facts section covering common questions for Turok, Dinosaur Hunter, Doom 64, and Tecmo's Secret of the Stars, offering straightforward answers on secrets, gameplay mechanics, and item locations. This page dives into the world of Tetris Plus, highlighting its unique take on the classic puzzle formula. It features 5 different modes, ranging from the familiar classic Tetris where you clear lines with falling blocks, to the challenging puzzle mode. In puzzle mode, the goal is to create an escape route for a character, the professor, by clearing a 2-block wide path through the falling tetrads before the ceiling crushes him. The game boasts 100 stages in this mode. It also showcases edit mode, allowing players to design their own custom puzzle levels, and versus mode, offering 2-player link cable battles with different strategies like clearing lines or protecting the professor. The page includes screenshots demonstrating the gameplay and interfaces for these various modes, and touches on the history of Tetris and its enduring popularity leading up to this enhanced version. This page delves into advanced strategies for Tetris Plus's puzzle mode. Building upon the previous page's introduction, it emphasizes the crucial rule of avoiding holes in your stack to make puzzles easier. Tougher shapes like the S and Z should be placed strategically to fill in notches, while the long stick tetrad is ideal for building solid walls. The concept of the junk pile is explained, using unwanted tetrads ground into the spiked ceiling to clear space, but only after establishing a solid base without holes. The page also stresses the importance of planning your escape route from the start, selecting a 2-block wide exit hole and focusing your stacking efforts toward it. Screenshots illustrate effective and ineffective stacking techniques and the professor's movement towards the chosen exit. This page presents the NP's Arena Challenges for August 1997, pushing players to test their skills across different titles. Speed demons are challenged in Super Mario Kart 64 on Moo Moo Farm and Wave Race 64 on Glacier Coast, demanding optimal racing lines and quick times. Blastcore players face a timed demolition test on Orion Plaza. The page also includes reader-submitted challenges and questions, covering games like Super Mario 64, Shadows of the Empire, and Turok: Dinosaur Hunter. Top performers from the previous month's challenges in Super Mario 64, Wave Race 64, and Pilotwings 64 are acknowledged, with successful submissions earning valuable superpower stamps. This page serves as your power guide to the latest releases for August 1997, focusing primarily on new games for the N64. Featured prominently are reviews for the highly anticipated GoldenEye 007, the arcade classic update Robotron 64, and the Rally Racer Multi-Racing Championship. Each game gets a detailed write-up with screenshots, highlighting gameplay elements like GoldenEye's smooth first-person action and multiplayer, Robotron's frantic dual-stick shooting, and Esperon's diverse driving surfaces and modes. Reviews include pros and cons, offering insights such as GoldenEye being one of the best games ever, with stunning graphics, Robotron providing fast-paced nostalgic action, and MRC featuring good graphics and intuitive controls despite limited tracks. It's a comprehensive look at key 64 titles hitting shelves that month. This page dives into a variety of games across different systems. For the N64, Tetrisphere offers a new twist on the classic puzzle formula, challenging players to clear layers of blocks on a sphere in various modes, though it might take some time to master. Shifting to the Super NES, Brunswick Tournament of Champions brings realistic bowling to the console, featuring pro bowlers and detailed control over your shots, providing solid multiplayer fun despite some questionable music. On the Game Boy, Ken Griffey Jr. Presents MLB delivers a strong baseball experience, updating the SNES version with real player names and detailed stats, making it a great handheld sports title. Finally, Tetris Plus on the Game Boy expands the original Tetris concept with innovative new modes, like the unique puzzle mode featuring the professor, and a fun versus mode, adding fresh challenges for longtime fans. The page also provides a brief rundown of the magazine's Power Meter ratings, ESRB icons, and the Pros Pick system, explaining which reviewers favor certain genres. This page presents previews for 2 exciting rare titles coming to the Nintendo 64 as part of the Parkwatch E3 coverage. Conker's Quest stars Conker the Squirrel and his friend Barry, focusing on their unique emotional responses and sophisticated sound design, including surround sound effects and dynamic background music. The game features ACM graphics, multiple worlds, and various vehicles, controlled similarly to Super Mario 64, with a target release in December. Banjo-Kazooie introduces the Bear and Bird pair, offering a 3D platforming adventure compared to Super Mario 64, where players collect items like puzzle pieces to unlock 16 sprawling worlds and feathers for flight. The duo can transform with help from Mumbo Jumbo, and their journey features non-linear exploration and graphics hailed as the best in 3Ds at the time. Planned for a November launch. This page delivers the PackWatch E3 report live from Atlanta, showcasing the latest and greatest for Nintendo 64 and other Nintendo systems. Nintendo is highlighted as ruling the market again, surpassing rivals in installed base. Key 64 titles featured include Star Fox 64, GoldenEye 007, the highly anticipated Banjo-Kazooie, and Major League Baseball featuring Ken Griffey Jr. The claim is noted for their success with Turok, and previews NFL Quarterback Club 98, and the futuristic racer Extreme Egg. Midway, dubbed the King of Coin-Op, brings NBA Hardwood Heroes and Mortal Kombat mythologies. Sub-Zero. While Duke Nukem 64 promises explosive action later in the year, the report captures the excitement and abundance of top-tier games on display. This page continues the E3 report, showcasing more exciting reveals. Kemco surprised with Top Gear Rally, Twisted Edge Snowboarding, and the sci-fi fighter Knife Edge. Titus detailed Quest 64 and Virtual Chess 2. Konami brought news on NBA in the Zone 98, the Metal Gear-like Hybrid Heaven, the upcoming Mystical Ninja, and Nagano Winter Olympics 98. Beyond the main booths, rumors abound, including potential Capcom games, the confirmation of Earthworm Jim 3, Hudson's Bomberman 64, Ubisoft's colorful Tonic Trouble, and various projects like SimCity, and even a hint at Paperboy for 64. New licensed controllers and racing peripherals from Interact were also on display, adding to the growing 64 ecosystem. This page features an in-depth Game Masters interview as part of the E3 coverage, sitting down with industry legends Shigeru Miyamoto, Benimaru Ito, and Takao Imamura. They reflect on the success of Star Fox 64 and discuss multiplayer strategy and character design details. The interview delves into the use of the Rumble Pack in future games like Wave Race and Mother 3, the reasons behind the N64's varying success across regions, and what makes the EAD Group's games special. They touch upon the N64 disk drive and its potential for SimCity, Mario Paint, and Mother 3, as well as plans for Pocket Monsters 64, special game codes, Super Mario RPG 64, and a potential Super Mario 64 2. The page also includes a list of upcoming game release forecasts. This page serves as a preview for the upcoming 100th issue of Nintendo Power, highlighting a major celebration with extra pages and special features. It promises a look back at classic blockbusters and an exclusive peek at new 64 titles. Key features advertised for the monumental issue include lists for the top 100 best ambushes, specifically mentioning GoldenEye 007 with screenshots, the top 100 best codes ever, and the highly anticipated top 100 best games ever, chosen by the staff. There's also a mention of a player's poll contest with many prizes. The page features screenshots from games like GoldenEye 007, The Legend of Zelda, likely a link to the past based on the style, Super Mario 64, and possibly Metroid. At the bottom, there are extensive lists of various games spanning multiple Nintendo consoles, likely related to the top 100 lists or upcoming releases mentioned elsewhere.